Next in the studio, I have Simon Bourne with me, who has been a recent contestant in the Dragon's Den series and had a product there, and he has been working on it since. And I'm here going to ask him how he's progressing on with the idea. So, Simon, you're in studio, which is a safer bet this evening. You're very welcome to the show.
Good evening, Rosario. How are you?
Good. Now, tell us all about yourself first and how you came up with your idea for Dragon's Den.
Right. Okay. Well, how it all started is that I went on a Start Your Own Business course. It was called the First Steps Programme.
Right.
It was government funded, and from there I met a gentleman on the course who's starting up or who'd recently started his own business, a chap called Doherty Regan.
Okay.
He has a successful website called handcrafthurleys.com.
Okay.
And we were chatting one session and basically mentioned that there's a bit of a problem with some hurlers protecting their top hand from the abrasion. So the idea was born, and off I went and developed what we're looking at now, the Hurley Sock.
Very good. Now explain to us about the Hurley Sock.
Okay, it's basically a one-piece item that covers the entire hook end of the hurl to replace the need for some players having insulation tape or trying to get a standard piece of grip tape wrapped around that part to either increase the grip, mm-hmm. or to basically stop the abrasion. So what I've come up with is basically, initially it was a complete sock, but as the viewers of Dragon's Den will notice that didn't work. Okay. So on the Dragon's advice, I went back to the drawing board and came up with the idea of having a hook covering with a standard piece of grip tape. So it's a one-piece item then that can be easily slipped over.
Oh, very good. I'm looking at it here. It looks very good. Very neat job altogether with a fine grip. Okay. And tell us, who are you working with in relation to this then?
Right. Liam Walsh, a Hurley maker out in Lisgold, has been brilliant in the sense that each stage of my development, I had a chat with Liam. He was willing to have a chat with me. Yeah. Saw the potential in the product and basically got to the stage with him where I am now.
Very good.
So we're very, very close to launching, and I'm looking forward to that.
Okay, very good. Yeah. Now, go back to the Dragon's Den experience. What is it really like? I mean, we only get snippets, really, but what goes on behind the scenes, really? Give us the juice.
I'd love to. Excuse me, but unfortunately I can't. All I can say is that I was extremely nervous. The fact that a few things leading up to the show.
Well, first of all, let me start off. How were you chosen, we'll say, to go in? Did you apply, or what's the process?
Yeah, I applied through the Dragon's Den website.
Okay.
And sent off the application. I went up to meet the production crew to have a preliminary interview.
Okay.
And then I spoke to them not long afterwards, and that was on the show. So it was a nice, simple, clean-cut process.
Okay, so it wasn't that complicated.
Not at all.
And how long between, we say, you applied to when you were actually on the set?
They would have been quite a quick turnaround.
Right.
So it was done, on a pretty quick basis. Yeah.
Okay. And who were the dragons on the night then? Can you remember who they were?
I remember, yeah. My things of nightmares. No, Sean was on the series before.
Okay.
So we had Sean O'Sullivan, who took his place. He's originally from California. Nora Casey, Bobby Kerr, Nilo Farrell, and Duffy.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Gavin Duffy. I beg your pardon, Gavin.
Okay, so tell us what kind of things were they saying, and was their advice helpful or not?
Oh, absolutely. The fact that I knew the product that we're looking at now, and that's on the website www.hurleysock.ie, is not the one that was on the show. Right. Unfortunately, I didn't have that in time. It was difficult because I was standing over a product that I didn't completely have faith in at all. I had a concept and was trying to pitch, I think, a concept into thin air really more than anything. So I found it very, very tough.
Okay.
I must admit, the Dragons were brilliant in the advice that they offered, and I've basically actioned that, made sure I've actioned that with the product now being close to launch, so it was
Okay,
excellent.
very good. And what kind of advice then did they give you?
It was basically for further down the line, in the sense that when I had a product,
Right.
to actually involve people from the hurling industry,
Industry,
players,
yeah.
coaches, and hurley makers. The fact that it's been well documented, I'm not a hurler.
Right.
That was the main one. It was something that I planned on doing,
Right.
but the fact that they reiterated how important that would have been, it became a definite rather than a possibility in my mind. So
Okay.
that was the key point. And it's from there that they've really kicked on with it. Yeah.
Very good. And are you doing them in different colours? I can see like a market for this now, having maybe the colours of the Cork team, or the colours of the Tip team, or whatever.
Exactly. That's one of the main points of it.
Okay.
The other being, as you can see, that the Hurley makers' details are actually embossed on the top of the sock end.
Yeah.
So it's great for any of his players that get their photos in paper, and great bit of advertising for the guys that do the real work with the Hurleys, which is brilliant.
Right, now I'm not a camogie or hurley player, though my dad did play for Tip, I have to add, the All-Ireland finals of 1959 and won. But nonetheless, can you explain to me the benefits of having this sock on a hurley?
Yeah, basically removes the abrasion or any of the hand irritation to the top end of the top hand of the player. The wood tends to not be very well finished, can be in some instances. It just takes away any of the irritation caused.
Right.
It has as standard an extra long grip as well, with the trend going for players striking with the hands together
Right.
mid-hurley.
Okay.
And that's an additional benefit there as well.
Right, I'm just showing it here now to Sean. I'm holding it up. Now tell us, would you go back to the Dragons then with that?
Not with that, I don't think,
Right.
because as I say, I've had my moment with the Hurley Sock.
Yeah.
I've got and taken the advice that they offered,
Right.
and I've got to where I am now, which is
Okay.
extremely close to launch with a product that, in my eyes, but also in the eyes of others, for instance, Liam Walsh and Dohy Regan down at Handcraft Hurleys,
Right.
believe in the product. So, I now see the potential in it. And I think with the right business plan put together, I think then with a bit of luck, I can have that product launched into market pretty soon. Yeah.
Very good. Now, if anyone out there, like young entrepreneurs there, were listening in and they were thinking of putting in an idea to the Dragons then, what advice would you give them?
I'd say first and foremost, do it. Do it. Put your thinking cap on. Get a good solid business plan together, and know your figures. I guess my experience: prepare and allow for mishaps, and prepare some more. Looking back on it, perhaps I let it slip over Christmas time and stuff. But at the same time, if you're prepared, it's like an interview for a job. If you're good in that position, the skills needed, and you're confident. It's the same would apply. But
Right.
it is very daunting and intimidating, just because potentially what's at stake, it can be life-changing.
Yes, indeed, yeah. Now, tell us, were you looking for much money, and what were you looking for? For
No.
what? Like, for what? Where did you envisage the money would be invested?
To be honest, from memory, I think it was 25,000 that I was looking for.
Okay, that was
I think
reasonable
it was
enough.
with
yeah.
20, with I think it was a 20% equity share.
Okay,
That's what I was looking at initially.
okay.
So,
I'm not sure I buy the argument that you have to be a hurler in order to build a product. I mean, when I go to a doctor, I don't expect him to have experienced every illness that I might have when I go in, as long as he knows something about him and, has access to the correct information and the right people
That's it. I'd agree with you. I mean, my sporting background's in hockey, and I was lucky enough to have got to a handy level at that. But by virtue of the fact that in hockey we use the same PU grips that we do in hurling,
Right.
and the fact that it rains an awful lot in England as much as it does over here,
Yeah.
I had a good grounding already, even though I didn't play. So
Yeah.
from the requirement point of view, it was almost at the stage that if I was happy with it, then I didn't mind showing it to somebody else.
Yeah,
So-
and indeed, as
But-
long as you're consulting with the people, the users, the end users, then
That's it.
and the coaches and whatever, then you obviously will have a good market there. Now, what kind is the market out there? I'm sure given the Irish climate, you would have a big market for these hurling socks. And the burning question, how much will they cost?
Right. Well, the marketplace is 800,000 new hurls sold in
Right.
Ireland alone.
Okay.
Of course, each one of those needs a grip.
Right.
And my market research has indicated that about 1 in 5 grips will get replaced during a season. So that's an actual marketplace of 1 million grips of another particular kind,
Right.
whatever you want to call it.
Okay, very good.
So, and the fact that it would, like any other grip, it will be priced in line with the extra long grips, and that brings it into line with about £5 for the grip itself, even though there's more grip of it.
Yes,
So keeping it in
okay.
line, yeah.
Very good. Now, just out of curiosity, what wood is that Hurley made from? What wood is it made from? Do you know?
Yeah, they're all made from ash.
Ash, are they? Yeah. Oh, yeah. It looks like ash now that you mentioned it, but I was just wondering. Okay, so where from now, Simon?
All right, I have an initial order on for Liam. We're going to finalise the field test there, make sure his process is good and that the Hurley Sock fits on in a matter of seconds as it should. And then that's it. That is the big question. Do you know,
Very good.
if that takes off and the kids in the target market like the product, it will be dictated by that. So fingers crossed, and we shall see.
Okay, you must let us know when we can buy shares in your company, Simon. I'm sure there'll be a lot of people willing to invest at that stage.
Hopefully.
Yeah. So we wish you luck in the future, and I'm sure we'll be hearing more about you. It looks like a great common sense, simple idea, but very effective. And good luck as well to Liam Walsh, who's obviously you're working with in relation to developing this. And we wish you all the best in the future. I'm sure we'll be hearing plenty from you.
And thanks very much for your time tonight.
Thank you, Simon.